Hello everyone, my name is Supery123 and today we're going to see how quickly can I beat Professor Oak's challenge in Pokemon Blue Kaizo. This is the second time I've done a POC in a Gen 1 game, but it's not the remakes this time. But what is Pokemon Blue Kaizo? Kaizo games are generally the most difficult hacks you can get of any game, and this game takes no liberties on that, possibly being the most difficult Pokemon hack out there. Blue Kaizo strips you of anything that could be helpful in most capacities like backtracking and avoidable trainers and says, nah, you don't need that, and gives you the worst cards it can deal. Fire Red Omega is child's play compared to this. And a Professor Oak's challenge, if you are unaware, is where you fill up the Pokedex as much as possible before each gym. I know Chaotic Meatball did this challenge and beat the game in 153 hours 24 minutes, but can I get a better time on him? Let's find out. Here are the rules of the challenge. I have to catch and evolve every available Pokemon before getting the next gym badge. No trading or interacting with other games, but in-game trades are allowed because they don't use an external device. And no glitching to get any Pokemon earlier than I should be. Should be doing this as vanilla as possible. And if you do go on to enjoy this video, remember to hit like and subscribe for more Professor Oak challenges and solo runs. Only around 14% of viewers are actually subscribed, so click the subscribe button if you do like this content. And without further ado, let's get into the challenge. So I started the game by picking Squirtle. It doesn't really matter which starter you pick, as you get them very soon after getting Pokeballs. I just wanted to pick Squirtle. Yeah, and no little jingle for obtaining Pokemon this time. I read your comments and a lot of you really didn't like it as much as I thought you would, so we're just not going to have it for this time. Oh yeah, and the rival just casually has a Mew. After doing the Oaks Parcel quest, I can get Pokeballs, buying them for the low price of just 10 Pokedollars. And this means we can immediately start catching everything before Brock's gym. Starting in Route 1, we can catch Pidgey, Weedle, Caterpie, Rattata, Ekans, Sandshrew, Spearow, Nidoran Female, and Nidoran Male. After beating the rival on Route 22, I caught Bulbasaur, Charmander, and Ditto at 1% encounter. On Route 2 we can find Cubone, Vulpix, Diglett, Mankey, Growlithe, Jigglypuff, Psyduck, and Meowth, which was horrid since it's a 1% encounter. And in Viridian Forest we can catch Pikachu, Paras, Venonat, Oddish, Bellsprout, Poliwag, and Ponyta. And that's all the captures we have to make. Doesn't sound too bad, right? Well, considering my last one was Fire Red Omega where I had to catch 386 Pokemon, this is a lot better. While you're on Route 2, remember to pick up the Moonstone on the way to Pewter City. Route 2 is also the best place for training due to the insane encounter rate. Viridian Forest has a much lower encounter rate, meaning that finding Pokemon while walking is a lot less common, and the Pokemon in the forest give off similar EXP to the ones on Route 2, but of course with less encounters, your yield is going to be much lower. You're going to be getting around 45 to 55 EXP off each Pokemon, so it does take a while to grind. The problem Pokemon was especially Venonat, which was hard to train due to the amount of fire and ground types on this route, and its lack of attacking moves that it starts with. Paras was a pain also, as it has low PP on Mega Drain and Leech Life, but at least it was okay against the ground types. These low PP moves means that I had to run to the Pokemon Center more often than I would have liked to. You do get some really good level up moves to work with other Pokemon however, like Ponyta getting Flamethrower really early, and Psyduck having a full moveset including Bubble Beam and Psybeam by level 10. The biggest shock definitely was Ekans learning Earthquake at level 15. Imagine this tiny snake causing serious damage on the Richter scale. Meowth doesn't get any move apart from Bite at level 16, but it does get Payday at that level, which helps when grinding to make some serious cash. The free starters of course took the most time with them evolving twice and pretty late. Ivysaur doesn't evolve into Venusaur at level 32 anymore, instead being updated to level 36 like the rest of the starter crew, but in contrast some Pokemon like Pidgey and Ponyta have their evolution levels decreased. And that means we have evolved the following: Bulbasaur into Ivysaur at level 16, and then into Venusaur at level 36, Charmander into Charmeleon at level 16, and then into Charizard at level 36, Squirtle to Wartortle at level 16, and into Blastoise at level 36, Pidgey into Pidgeotto at level 9, and into Pidgeot at level 20, Weedle into Kakuna at level 7, and then into Beedrill at level 10, Caterpie into Metapod at level 7, and into Butterfree at level 10, Rattata into Raticate at level 20, Ekans into Arbok at level 16, Sandshrew into Sandslash at level 22, Spearow into Fearow at level 20, Nidoran F into Nidorina at level 16, Nidoran M into Nidorino at level 16, Cubone into Marowak at level 16, Diglett into Dugtrio at level 26, Mankey into Primeape at level 20, Psyduck into Golduck at level 20, Meowth into Persian at level 28, Paras into Parasect at level 24, Venonat to Venomoth at level 31, Oddish to Gloom at level 16, Bellsprout to Weepinbell at level 16, Poliwag to Poliwhirl at level 14, Ponyta to Rapidash at level 26, and Jigglypuff into Wigglytuff with the Moonstone. For the final levels of Venonat, I will admit I just used rare candies that I had found, and we beat that section with an in-game time of 38 hours and 37 minutes with 58 Pokemon registered. Now the only way to get into the gym is to speak to this guy with the power of walking over ledges. So I went into the gym, swept Brock's updated Kaizo team and moved on to section 2 of the challenge. Starting section 2 and you can immediately get some encounters as there is a patch of grass right before the trainers, so you can get your encounters and start working on them right away. On Route 3 you can catch Geodude, Rhyhorn and Machop. Geodude only knowing self-destruct at this stage, so you're going to be switch training it throughout the trainers. As soon as you reach Route 4 where you can get the Magikarp for 500 Pokédollars, Voltorb, Magnemite, Seal, and Krabby, and then you can go into Mount Moon and catch Clefairy, Zubat, Onix, Grimer on the first basement floor, and Coughing on the second basement floor. Mount Moon was a tough one to get through due to my lack of healing items and the sheer amount of encounters and tough trainers. All the trainers are required and most places block off backtracking to the Pokemon Center, meaning the only option to heal is death. While battling through the slog of trainers in Mount Moon, remember to collect the 5 evolutionary stones and the hidden Moonstone which is shown on screen. You can actually go back into Mount Moon from Cerulean if you do miss one or an encounter however, which is a solemn piece of mercy given by the game creator. I also picked up the Helix fossil. I know if I didn't say which fossil I picked up, you'd all ask. In fact, everyone ask anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Damn, it's been a while since I broke out that gag. I don't get the fossils in my Gen 3 runs because they're not needed. Also check out my Gen 3 speedruns, they're a lot of fun. On the path to Cerulean, I did also catch an extra Spearow which is used for an in-game trade in the city to get a Horsey. If you couldn't tell from my Fire Red POC, I hate in-game trades in these challenges, so this is going to be brilliant. I battled the rival and made my way north past the Nugget Bridge. On the way to Bill's house on Route 24, I also caught a Farfetch'd, Doduo, and a Mr. Mime at a 1% encounter, and then skipping Misty's gym and going straight to Vermilion. On Route 5 though, we caught Lickitung and Tangela, and did an in-game trade trading my Beedrill for a Goldeen. On Route 6 we catch Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, and in Vermilion City we trade a Butterfree for a Tentacool. After going to Vermilion you head east to Route 11, which is an absolute nightmare like most routes in the game due to all the trainers I have to fight, making my team keep fainting. Out of all the routes I went through, I remember this one causing me the most issues for some reason. I eventually made it to the building at the end, trading my recently caught Farfetch'd for a Flareon. Why does this Flareon sprite remind me so much of the big flopper cat image? Getting onto the SS Ant, and there are a lot of trainer battles here to get levels against, and also a rival battle before the HM for cut. But remember, before getting the HM for cut you need to get the Fire and Leaf Stones on board. We may have caught over double the Pokemon the rival has, but he still has a pretty strong team with all the evolutions and his Mew. I had to battle him multiple times due to my emulator crashing and my laptop dying, so that's very fun. Did I mention to get to the SSN you have to go through the entirety of Route 11, so if you faint on the ship, you have to go all the way back. Please, let this game have mercy. And after what feels like forever, I got the cut HM and started the grind. I did my team grinding on Route 6 since the grass is in very close proximity to the Pokemon Center in Vermilion, doing my switch training with Venusaur since the main Pokemon on the route are Nidorino and Nidorina, and they can't use Toxic on my Poison type. I also did training north of Cerulean as the levels were better matched by my Pokemon's lower levels, and then progressed onto Route 6 when they were strong enough. But trips to the Pokemon Center are frequent due to the wild Pokemon movesets being scarily diverse. The traded Pokemon were especially annoying since they don't listen to you at all, and are weak Pokemon in general. Similar to the Snorunt in my Fire Red POC, I hated traded Pokemon, and now have 3 to deal with. What did I do to deserve this? Also, while I was in Cerulean, I got the bike with the bike voucher, which is going to be needed to progress later. And during my grinding, I made a typical Gen 1 glitch discovery, and this was that explosion and self-destruct don't knock out your Pokemon if the opponent is behind a substitute, meaning Graveler and other self-destructed Pokemon are actually able to use Struggle. And with that, here are the evolutions for this section, starting with Magikarp into Gyarados at level 25, Magnemite to Magneton at level 20, Seal to Dugong at level 26, Krabby to Kingler at level 16, Geodude to Graveler at level 25, and then into Golem at level 42, Rhyhorn to Rhydon at level 42, Machop to Machoke at level 22, and into Machamp at level 42, Voltorb to Electrode at level 30, Zubat to Golbat at level 16, Grimer to Muk at level 24, Coughing to Wheezing at level 24, Doduo to Dodrio at level 31, Horsey to Seadra at level 32, Goldeen to Seaking at level 33, Tentacool to Tentacruel at level 30, Nidorino to Nidoking with the Moonstone, Clefairy to Clefable with the Moonstone, Vulpix to Ninetales with the Firestone, Growlithe to Arcanine with the Firestone, Poliwhirl to Poliwrath with the Waterstone, Pikachu to Raichu with the Thunderstone, Weepinbell to Victreebel with the Leafstone, and Gloom to Vileplume with the Leafstone. And after having caught 107 Pokemon in 61 hours and 31 minutes, I went back to the Cerulean Gym and beat Misty in convincing fashion, giving us access to the rest of the game. How have we already caught 107 Pokemon out of the 151 in this game, and we've only just beaten the second gym? This is crazy. I started off this section by backtracking through Diglett's cave to get the Flash Hate Gem from Oak's Aid, and getting the old Amber from the Pewter Museum, and using Flash in this updated rock tunnel is a must. It's not like normal rock tunnel where you can just use muscle memory of getting through Kanto 200 times. Unless you're a masochist, you need something with Flash. But before getting to rock tunnel, the only thing you need to catch is Cypher on Route 9. Rock tunnel thankfully has no new encounters, but a lot of trainers that sent me back through the cave more times than I'd like to admit. A rule of thumb for traversing through here is to just follow the trainers. Basically everywhere in this game where you have to go has mandatory trainers, so follow the trainers and you'll be on your way. There's nothing new on the way to Celadon, so you can just keep going to the department store and get the Moonstone, which will evolve your Nidorina into Nidoqueen. There is only one other Pokemon in Celadon, which is the Porygon. Luckily it is only 1000 coins, so it saves me from the clutches of underage gambling. You then just have to go through the game normally, beating the updated Giovanni and getting the Silph Co to get to the Pokemon Tower to catch Ghastly. I also found a Wild Haunter and caught that to save time on leveling up and evolving the initial Ghastly. This is the only thing you need to train for a long time in this section, and it becomes really good when you get to Gengar. I kept training it while saving Mr. Fuji and getting the Poker Flute to awaken the sleeping Snorlax. Snorlax actually has self-destruct, and I didn't know if there was a second encounter in this game, so I saved beforehand. 2 tries later and I caught it. There is an extra Snorlax at the end of Cycling Road, so if you do miss this one, don't fear, as you can get another one very soon. The only things left are the routes south of Lavender, which is the only way to get to Fuchsia City, and the Safari Zone where our final encounters are. As a bit of a time save, I had my Magneton that knows Flashline Teleport, so I can go back to the Lavender Town Pokemon Center easier. And that Pokemon Center is the only one for the next few hours, since Fuchsia City is blocked off with ledges. The thing about the Safari Zone is that you just have enough steps to get to the very end house to get the Surf HM, which means there is very little margin for error. And by very little, I mean no margin for error. The encounters that you have to get for this area are Dratini, Kangaskhan, Magmar, and Electabuzz, all found in the first area. Getting all these Pokemon took me 3 tries and took me even more to get the HM for Surf. Luckily you can save in the Safari Zone, and with a lot of trial and error, I got the HM and finally leave while still saving a bit of money in my pockets. After that little slice of peace from the trainers, it's right back through the Path of Hell, or as it's more commonly known, Kaizo Cycling Road, which you have to go through as it's the only way to get the Fly HM, which is the only way you're able to get into the Pokemon Center and Gym for Fuchsia City. While on this long and arduous journey to get the ability to fly, Dratini evolved into Dragonair at level 30, and I only had to grind up Haunter a little bit more to level 55 so that it evolves into Gengar. I trained Dragonair in the grass west of Lavender Town as it is close to a Pokemon Center and I can knock out the wild Pokemon fairly easily, and with Dragonair learning Blizz at level 45, it does give it a lot more coverage, also teaching it Surf for the many fire types on that route, and once I leveled up enough, I went to the route just east of Celadon since it has a higher EXP yield with the middle stage of the starters available. After a bit of grinding, I got Dragonair to level 55, evolving it into Dragonite, and with 120 Pokemon in the dex and an in-game time of 74 hours, 43 minutes, I just had to go and fight Surge. I had to go and fight Surge since you can't use Surf without Koga's badge, and you can't get Koga's gym without Fly, and you can't use Fly without Surge's badge, so it's a little series of events that starts by sweeping Surge since we are fairly over leveled for him, but Koga was a different type of challenge. My Pokemon are actually lower leveled than his team, and having no clear counter for poison types, it does take me a few tries, especially his Tentacruel, which knocked me out a good few times. Eventually I got the lucky run and beat Koga and got the badge, giving us the ability to stand on top of a Pokemon while it's swimming. HM moves are really weird. Why can't a water Pokemon swim with me on its back unless I have a badge? Does it forget how to swim unless Koga gives it swimming lessons? So there is only one new Pokemon you need for Section 4, but it requires a whole lot of effort to get to. You're going to have to go to Silph Co to get the gift Lapras from there, but of course there is an insane amount of Team Rocket grunts to face off against, and your rival just before the gift man. I got very lost in the new design Silph Co, but after a bit of trial and error, you can get through it pretty simply. I beat the rival on my first try, which was really surprising actually, and talked to the man to get the gift Lapras. And that's it, that's all you have to do. Just leave Silph Co and let Giovanni do whatever he wants to the president, that ain't my business. And we just have to beat Erica and get the ability to use the HM for strength outside of battle. But then I had to get the HM since I forgot it in the Safari Zone. You've got to do the same thing as you did with Surf and be very strategic with your steps, getting the gold teeth, giving the teeth to the warden and getting the HM, and moving on south of Fuchsia to get through the very annoying strength puzzles in the Seafoam Islands to reach Cinnabar. And if you're wondering what happened to the Articuno in the islands, it's now a Ditto for some reason. First thing to do on Cinnabar is to revive your 2 fossils, giving us Omanyte and Aerodactyl. Then head into the Pokemon Mansion, and on the 2nd floor you can catch Kabuto, and in the basement you can catch Omastar and Kabutops, right after I switch boxes. Honestly, this is what kills Gen 1 for me. You expect me to keep up to date with every Pokemon I have in the PC? At least Gen 2 you could call Bill and see how many Pokemon you have in each box, but all that aside, that's all you need to catch, and just do the quizzes in Blaine's gym and fight him. It probably would have been wise to fight the gym trainers rather than answering the questions correctly, which for the record contain errors. No, Caterpie doesn't evolve into Butterfree, it's Caterpie Metapod Butterfree. Hashtag justice for Metapod. Blaine is terribly annoying since if a trainer uses an item in battle, that item is infinite. I better have burn heals according to Blaine, but he's not willing to share his 999 full heals that he uses on his Chansey. Also, Chansey got a buff in this game from 5 base defense to 45, making it considerably more annoying to deal with. And with the idea of using Toxic out of the question and nothing learning Leech Seed in this game, this is just a case of how strong is my willpower. Gengar's fixed damage Nightshade and Confuse Ray got me through the battle after pumping it full of every rare candy I owned and resetting every time Chansey got a critical hit, which was a lot. After all of that, I finally got the gym badge, and this took me ages. Funny how the fire type gym leader made my blood boil the most. But moving on, we have to clear out Saffron City from the Team Rocket goons, meaning I had to finally get into the boardroom with Giovanni, who hasn't done anything since we last came to Silph Co. kicking him out of the city and facing off with Sabrina. After finding out she is also a full heal spammer, I died a little inside. Psychic types in Gen 1 are a nightmare to deal with, but after Rhydon somehow survived a psychic from Alakazam, Brute Force won me the battle, and I can finally get to the final section before the last gym. It's finally time for some more captures rather than the main game taking up my precious time with quite a few Pokemon with this section. First thing to do is battle your way through the Viridian City Gym to get the Super Rod, which is lying on the floor for some reason, and get the Gift Eevee, which has moved from Celadon City to here. With the Super Rod we can get 2 new Pokemon, starting with Shelder in Cerulean City, and Staryu on Cinnabar Island. And with all our current gym badges we can go through Route 23 just enough to get the grass encounters just before the Victory Road, which is of course blocked off. From here we can catch Vaporeon, Jolteon, Slowpoke, Drowsy, Execute, and Abra. Abra has a really low catch rate in this game, but doesn't have the ability to teleport. But since it was the last Pokemon I needed to catch before the post game, I just used the Master Ball on it since it took forever to find since it's really rare, and I didn't want to risk a failure. For those last few Pokemon I battled through the Fighting Dojo, whose new boss is Bruno. But it didn't give off enough XP, so I went north of Cinnabar to the very few optional trainer battles that you can battle. These battles did indeed kick my butt back to Cinnabar many times, and after getting the last few levels and evolution stones from Celadon, I evolved Slowpoke into Slowbro in 1 level, Abra into Kadabra in 1 level, Drowsy into Hypno within 1 level, Execute into Executor with the Leaf Stone, Shelder into Cloyster with the Water Stone, and Staryu into Starmie with the Water Stone. Now you're probably wondering why I haven't evolved Kadabra into Alakazam. Well, for that evolution to happen, you need to get Kadabra to level 100. Yeah, you heard me right. The maximum level to evolve it into Alakazam. But luckily, there is an in-game trade to get Alakazam for Kadabra, so thank God that this game gives me a piece of mercy at the final hurdle. I hope this guy loves his new Kadabra caught in a Master Ball, as with a time of 83 hours and 6 minutes and a Pokédex totaling 142, we can beat up Giovanni and move on to the Pokemon League. And oh my god, was this the toughest Elite Four I've ever challenged. Since the Elite Four are pretty dang strong, you're gonna have to buy a lot of rare candies from the mart, but they're only $1 Pokédollar each, meaning you can stop up and mash the heck out of the A button to inject your Pokemon with performance enhancing drugs. You're also able to buy Master Balls at this mart, which is going to be very useful for the last area of the game, but we don't need those right now. So before I go into this Elite Four challenge, I'm going to have to do a lot of team building, since their teams are really diverse, movesets are optimized, and the big thing, they're all level 115. Yep, the Elite Four exceed the level cap somehow, and we just have to accept that. I did want to add some Pokemon to my team with good movesets, but after using a document detailing the whole game, which I've linked in the description, I found out that what I wanted to use was basically impossible. I watched this random video on beating the Elite Four as a guide, but he used Pokemon that I can't even use yet, like Tauros, and his Exeggutor has Leech Seed, which it can't learn according to my document. What the heck, my guy? So I knew I had to use stuff like Starmie, Jolteon, Alakazam and Gengar, but with the rest of the team I picked Flareon and Lickitung. I needed a fire type in Flareon to deal with stuff like Jinx and Exeggutor, and with Lickitung I wanted to use a Dragonite with Wrap, but Dratini learns Headbutt over Wrap when you catch it in the wild, which is just pure evil, so I used Lickitung that has Wrap instead. A bit of a downgrade from Dragonite, but whatever. All I can say for these Elite Four battles is save and reset. I had hardly any money at this stage of the game due to fainting so many times, so healing items were scarce and I needed near perfect runs of each battle to minimise the item usage and also to actually have money for the post game. Lorelei was not a complete pain, as Jolteon is very useful in outspeeding and getting in critical hits. Just be warned that all of the Elite Four has full heals, but if Thunderbolt paralysed or Fire Blast burnt, that used up a turn for the AI, giving you another free chance to attack. Before saving before each member of the Elite Four, I did a few practice runs and actually made it up to Lance 1 run by getting really good luck on Professor Oak's Chansey, who now replaces Bruno in the Elite Four. But ultimately I only had Starmie left, and of course it was impossible to beat the rest of the league with only a Starmie, but there was positive signs. I battled the rest of the trainers north of Cinnabar to get some more money for healing items, and I did my main run of the Elite Four, which was an RNG based nightmare. Getting past Oak's Chansey was the main issue out of the whole Elite Four, and Lance was pretty bad to get past. But eventually I got through to the champion battle, and oh my god, this was the worst time I've had playing Pokemon in my life. It made me question why I started this channel in the first place. So starting off before the battles even started, I had no more Hyper Potions, so healing stall is out the window, mixed with the start to the battle I have to make where I can only be hit by Mew once, or I'll lose immediately. Gengar and Confusion hacks were key in this first stage of the battle, and if by some miracle Mew does hit itself with all of its chances to attack, then the rest of the battle needs to be just as lucky. He has a solid core of Jolteon, Starmie and Exeggutor which I can just about deal with. The Jolteon needs to be defeated by my half health Lickitung, Exeggutor needs to be taken out swiftly with Flareon's Fire Blast or else I have no counter for it, and Starmie just needs to be a lucky shot Thunderbolt with Jolteon. Most of these with my team being low health. His Tauros is the main killer though, as it is so fast and powerful, but Alakazam can attack with a Psychic before it faints, and I had to just use the speed of Jolteon and Taurus's Pull Special to make it to his final Pokemon, which is of course a Mewtwo. On the off chance I could even make it to Mewtwo, it would just hit every attack as a crit and make me cry more and more. Every time it seemed I was in a good position to win, the game says, "Oh no, I'm going to lose, quick, Mewtwo, have every attack be a critical." I don't know how or why I'm considering doing a monotype run of this game when it has driven me this far to insanity. I would give anything to just save state in this battle, but that's unfair to anyone else doing this POC. It took me the most painful hour of my life, but with the power of Sand Attack hacks, I got the victory and can get the last Pokemon in this challenge. I was so happy I beat the Elite Four and I can actually get with editing and finishing this video. So, after the torment of the Elite Four, this is the final section and it's going to be a bit easier as all I have to do is chuck Master Balls at things and then close the game. But I could only afford 6 Master Balls, so I picked up some Ultra Balls and went into the Cerulean Cave. There's no point in using repels in here by the way, since every Pokemon is level 100, and on the second floor there are fake staircases that take you back down to the lower floor, so I saved frequently and reset if I got into a spot of bother. The Pokemon you can catch on the first floor are Pinsir, Jinx, and Moltres. Yeah, the legendary birds are in here and fairly rare, so bring some Master Balls for them. On the second floor you can catch Chansey and Articuno, and on the final floor you can catch Tauros, Zapdos, Mew, and get the final encounter at the end of the cave with Mewtwo, chucking a Master Ball at it and finishing the game with all 151 Pokemon and an in-game time of 88 hours and 42 minutes. Haha, it appears that I have beaten your time, Mr. Meatball. But in all seriousness, thanks for him making his video guide so I could make this video, and all the resources linked in the description. This wasn't a hard game to do in POC on, it was just a hard game in general. I could definitely get a better time if I didn't white out as much and maybe had actually played through the game beforehand, but I'm sure I'll do it for a monotype run in the near future. This game was very difficult and I'm glad to see the back of it for now, but if you did enjoy this video please leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and comment any challenges you'd like to see in the future. My Twitter is @Super123 if you want to send me challenge ideas there. And while you're there, follow me and retweet the video link so that we can get loads of people watching this, because this was a pretty damn fun challenge. Thank you all so much for watching and I'll see you in the next challenge video.